Have you ever trusted someone so completely, only to realize they were using your trust against you the entire time? That was the reality facing 25-year-old Nmeso. She called her pastor mommy, cleaned her house, cooked her meals, and ran her errands. But the moment a good man entered Nmeso's life, that motherly love vanished. It started with a quiet warning to the suitor. That girl is living an immoral life, and it ended with an astonishing offer. Marry me instead. By Sunday morning, the truth would come out in front of the whole congregation. Welcome. If you're new here, we tell real stories about real people with total honesty. Make sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a single story. Here is how it all unfolded. Nmeso was 25 years old. She was the most dedicated member Kingmaker's Chapel had. Her dedication didn't stop at the church gate. She followed Pastor Sarah to the market, cooked for her, she washed her clothes. People in the church didn't even call her by her real name anymore. They called her Mommy's daughter. Most evenings, Nmeso left Pastor Sarah's house by 9. But one Wednesday, she couldn't get a keke on time. She didn't arrive home until 10:30. By then, her parents and siblings were already asleep. She knocked on the door. Her father, Mr. Benson, heard her voice. He told her to go back to wherever she was coming from. It took the neighbors coming out to plead with him. Only then did he open the door.
I did not say you should not go to church, but you must be back before nightfall. Do you want to be kidnapped?
Nmeso replied,
I heard you, Papa. I won't come back this late again.
Now, there was a young man in the church, Brother Obinna. He had been admiring Nmeso quietly for a while. So much so, he joined the prayer department just to be close to her. He would call to ask what time the prayer session held, even when he already knew the answer. What he didn't know was that Nmeso admired him back, just as quietly. One Saturday, after the workers' prayer meeting, Nmeso stayed behind. She wanted to sweep the church. When Obinna saw her, he picked up a broom too. He joined her without a word. When they finished, he told her there was something on his mind.
I like you. I want to marry you.
Nmeso told him she could pray about it.
I will pray about it.
After service the following day,
Mommy, Bro Obi has asked for my hand in marriage. I don't want to make a mistake, so please put me in prayer. Of course, my daughter. I will pray for you.
When Pastor Sarah heard this, something in her shifted inside her chest. The kind of feeling Nigerians describe as your heart doing you. But her face didn't show it. Okay, Nmeso, I will put you in prayer, she said calmly. God will reveal his way to me. From that day, something changed. Pastor Sarah wasn't as warm with Nmeso as she used to be. Her tone was shorter, her eyes less patient. But Nmeso, trusting her spiritual mother completely, didn't notice a thing. That Monday morning, before Pastor Sarah left for work, she sent word. She wanted Obinna to come to her house by 7 that evening. She said she had a message for him. Obinna spent the whole day wondering, why didn't she tell me in the church the day before? What message could be so important that it needed a house visit? At exactly 7:01, he was at her door. Knock, knock. Pastor Sarah wasn't expecting anyone else that evening. She let him in. He was in her sitting room, well decorated. Clearly a room for people who she trusted. It was his first time being invited that far into her home. 2 minutes later, Pastor Sarah walked in. She came through the door connecting the sitting room to her bedroom. She wasn't in her usual church clothes. She wore a fitted red t-shirt and blue jeans. She sat on the chair directly across from him. Obinna was caught off guard. He has never seen her carry herself this way before. After the greetings, she brought out 2 chilled bottles of malt. She gave him one. She opened the other for herself. They talked about the church for a while. She praised his dedication to God's work. Then gently, she moved the conversation somewhere else. She told him something. While she was praying, she said, the Spirit of God revealed a thing to her.
The Spirit of God revealed to me that Nmeso is living an immoral life. A defiled vessel cannot lead a sensitive department in the church.
That she would be removing her from the leadership of the prayer department that coming Sunday. Because in her words, A defiled vessel cannot lead the sensitive department in the church. Obinna sat there listening, saying nothing. After a while, Pastor Sarah's tone softened. Her eyes grew emotional. Bro Obi, she said, ever since you joined this ministry, I have been admiring you. I like everything about you.
Marry me instead.
Obinna didn't know what to say. He hadn't expected any of this. Not the accusation against Nmeso, and certainly not this. His mind spun with question. Could it be true? Was Nmeso really living a promiscuous life? Hidden behind all that dedication he had watched with his own eyes. He left Pastor Sarah's house that night carrying more questions than answers. Before bed, he called Nmeso. After the usual greetings, she asked if he could be at the Tuesday prayer meeting. Yes, I will, he said, but that's not why I called. Why haven't you given me a response about what I told you? What response? Nmeso asked. The marriage question, he said. Oh, I'm sorry, she replied. Myself and mommy are still praying about it. Your mommy? Obinna asked. No, Pastor Sarah, Nmeso corrected. Did you tell her about our conversation? Yes. For a moment, Obinna couldn't speak. His mind flew back to what Pastor Sarah had told him barely 2 hours ago. So she already knew. She has known the whole time that he had proposed to Nmeso, and she has still asked him to marry her instead. Hello? Hello, Robbie, are you still there? Nmeso asked. She heard only silence on the line.
Yes, I'm here, he said slowly.
Pastor wants me to marry her instead.
It's a lie.
Stop joking, I beg, Nmeso said, laughing it off. I'm not joking, no, Obinna said, his voice firm. It's not true, she insisted. If you're still doubting me, wait until Sunday. If she doesn't remove you as prayer department leader, then call me a liar. Nmeso said good night and went to bed. But sleep didn't come easily. She lay there, turning his words over and over in her mind. She finally decided Obi must be joking. Mommy Sarah could never say something like that. On Sunday, Nmeso arrived at church at 5 in the morning as always. She had the whole building cleaned before anyone else arrived. When she saw Pastor Sarah stepping out of her car, she rushed over. Out of habit, she reached for her bag.
Thank you, it's not heavy.
That bag had never once been light. Not in all the years Nmeso had carried it for her. After the service, during the workers' meeting, Pastor Sarah made an announcement. There would be a change of leadership across several departments. Though she was careful to add, each department should ideally choose its own leader when the time came. She named new leaders for the ushering department, the protocol department, the welfare department. Then she got to the prayer department.
With immense joy and humble heart, I announce that Brother Obinna will be our new leader. Let us welcome him with praise.
Nmeso's heart did not just break. The scales fell entirely from her eyes. Sitting in that quiet church hall, watching the woman she called mommy manipulate sacred titles to feed personal vanity, everything clicked. The short tempers, the icy shift in tone, the refusal to let Nmeso carry her bag. It had never been about Nmeso's spiritual purity. It was Pastor Sarah's control. Obinna did not wait for the meeting to end. He stood up, right then, looked Pastor Sarah dead in the eyes and cleared his throat.
I am surprised, but I will consider this. I will think about accepting.
I decline the position. God does not build his altar on lies, nor does he swap his sheep's destiny for a leader's secret desires. A sharp murmur rippled through the workers. Pastor Sarah's face paled, her authoritative posture stiffening as Obinna walked across the aisle, took Nmeso by the hand, and led her out of Kingmaker's chapel for the very last time. Nmeso never returned to clean that house. She never carried that heavy bag again. Instead, she and Obinna built their lives on a foundation of true trust, one far away from manipulated prophecies and performative faith. Today, Nmeso and Obinna are celebrating 10 years of a peaceful, joy-filled marriage, laughter and children. As for Kingmaker's chapel, without Nmeso's quiet, back-breaking labor to hold it together, and with the truth of Pastor Sarah's actions slowly coming to light, The congregation quietly melted away. Pastor Sarah was left sitting alone in her well-decorated living room, realizing too late that power gained through deceit only leads to a very quiet, very lonely house. Because in the end, you cannot steal what God has already reserved for someone else.